Well, hello and welcome to the most unusual tarot reading on the internet. Unusual because it's grounded. It uses several different forms of metaphysics. First and foremost, top of the list, tarot. But I've done tarot for over 20 years. I've found in that time, from my experience, tarot doesn't predict anything. But it is the science of potential. We're talking energy. We're talking frequency. So look at the tarot in this reading as helping you to manifest. That's the destination. We want you to create pictures in your own mind. The more you're hooked into technology, the less you can do that. So the idea is to depend on your own kryptonite, your ability to manifest pictures, sounds. You can feel, hear, sense, even smell if you're really good at manifesting. And that's the key, because that's the potential. But along with the tarot, which I've done, by the way, for over 20 years, I also lean on numerology and astrology, which I've done for 50. They are the science of cycles. So if you were to look superficially, you would go, oh, well, science of cycles, they can predict. Nah, yes and no. Yes and no. I can take a brand new baby, do a chart on the minute that they're born, and I can map out their personality, their characteristics. I can map out even the major features in their life. But there are smaller things that I'm not going to be able to touch. That's not important. Life is, I believe, not intended to be a map. Life is intended to be a journey that we initiate ourselves. There are no guarantees, there are no promises. But with the astrology and numerology, you can kind of pick the high spots, low spots, and you use the tarot, that potential, to help move through your life. Think of life as being fate, being a river, and you are on the boat or canoe. That is the numerology and astrology, and you're headed towards a destination, which is your tarot. That's your frequency. That helps you to manifest. That's absolutely central. The theme for today's reading, by the way, is you can't, and that may be a good thing. Yeah, not for you. You can't, and rather than feel that something's being taken away from you, the fact that you can't may be actually a blessing. Let's begin to take a look at this. We're going to do something that I call astrologic. We begin with the astrology. Now, I've spent a lot of time talking about the lineup with the planets this year, because when we started the year, I think it was at the end of January or early February, we had all the planets lined up in different signs, but the perfect lineup. And since then, the smaller planets, Mars, Venus, the Moon, Mercury, Sun, they've moved. But the large planets, not so much. And the large planets are the big direction setters. They kind of set the table for the meal. And so what we're going to have this year, next year, and maybe even into 27, is we're going to have an interesting combination of these planets lining up. Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, Saturn. They're in air signs and fire signs. Now, it's not exactly a perfect match, but because of the signage, there's a power lineup. I call it the cosmic slide. Like, when you were a kid, I don't know if anybody does this anymore, you could go down a slide down a slide, water slide, whatever. Very easy to do. Boom, fun. And that's kind of the energy this year, with Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn all lined up in air and fire signs. There is something a little different, and that is Jupiter just moved into Cancer, so it's kind of not fitting in that pattern, and that's creating all kinds of angst for people, because Cancer has to do with home, security, family, being loved, being safe. Jupiter there really kind of makes you focus, so everything is being looked at in that regard. Do I feel connected? Do I feel family? Do I feel safe? Do I feel home? Do I feel emotionally protected? And with these other planets, Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn, the way they're lined up, no, you don't. No, you don't. Now, next year around this time, Jupiter's going to move, because it only stays in a sign for a year. Jupiter's finally going to move into Leo, which is a fire sign. So then, all of the major planets, from Jupiter all the way through Pluto, are going to be in fire and air signs. What happens when you put fire and air together? You get a big, huge fire. I believe that what is happening right now in 2025 is that setup. There is something very big, maybe just behind the scenes, because we do have Neptune involved in Aries. So we may not really see it very clearly, but we get glimpses of it. When we do, that Jupiter in Cancer goes, whoa, this makes me feel uncomfortable. Whoa, this makes me feel unsafe. And it's not to say that you shouldn't. But this is the year, let's say for the next, 10 months or so, 12 months, when you really should pay attention. Because things are moving. We got, again, those planets, Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, air and fire. They're moving along. They're chugging along. Stuff's going on. You only get a little glimpse. Pay attention to those glimpses. Because you may find that what's happening is not for you. Yeah, the energy flows really nicely around Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, fire and air and all that stuff. It flows. But it probably is not good for your personal security, your spiritual security, your physical security, your emotional security. Pay attention. You may find out that what's going on, no matter what they say, what's going on is not working to your advantage. It's not for you. You realizing that is a very, very good thing. Let's go to the meme for today. This from Jamie Freeman. They call it a free country, but try living outside of their rules. See how free you really are. The second you stop complying, the system shows its teeth. So don't tell me I'm extreme for standing up. Tell me why you're still on your knees. And that's really what's going on. They are attacking, destroying our constitutional rights. You can't say this, you can't say that. Free speech. There is no free speech. Whoever you can't criticize rules you. And that's part of this whole thing that we had going on with Pluto, Neptune, Uranus. Things are moving along in the back. Oh, we got this great big economic bill. Well, take a look at what's in that bill. You may find out it's not the present you think it is for you. It sounds good. But the next 10 or 12 months are times where you really have to pay attention, because you may be surprised. It's not for you, and you deciding that it's not for you is probably a good thing. Now, this takes me to the missing piece, a little segment I throw in just to kind of out of left field, just to kind of get you thinking. Today it says control ego when you're winning. Control thoughts when you're losing. If you can do those things, control your ego, control your thoughts, you can do anything. And that is what is called for in this year ahead. Okay? Control your ego, control your thoughts. See past your fears. Take a look beyond the curtain. Believe me, what you're being sold now is something that you don't need, you don't want. And you got about 10, 11 months to figure that out. Let's go to the tarot. 10 of Swords. Most people are feeling like this, stabbed in the back. Betrayed, victimized. You are. It's amazing to me when I step back and look. I am astounded that I live in the United States of America, because it's a joke. I was born in 1950, so I've been around a couple of years. And I remember in the 60s and 70s and 80s to a degree, people used to say, oh man, take a look, look how bad Russia is. Its cities are destroyed, people are destroyed, there's no work, there's no jobs, there's nothing going on with the economy. Healthcare is virtually non-existent. Take a look at the United States today. Pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. And we can't get off our big fat asses to do anything about it. I don't even know if we bitch as much as we should. And again, that goes back to the astrological stuff. The Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, all lined up in air signs, fire signs. I mean, it just... Thank God for the Jupiter kind of mucking the whole thing up, because it helps us stay on top. But this is the way we're feeling. This card, Ten of Swords. We've been lied to. Swords are data, our truth, our information. We have been lied to. We know it. But that's not enough. Next card, Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords speaks the truth. Very perceptive. That's what I was talking about the next 10 months or so, 11 months. Take a look, pay attention. That's all the time you have, because if we get to this time next year, we're going to have Jupiter in Leo, which means all the major planets, the faraway planets, are going to be in fire and air. And man, what a blaze that's going to be. And that won't be a good thing. You need to pay attention, and you need to get involved, or I don't want to hear it. Here in America, we say we got government by the people, for the people, of the people. Where the hell are the people? Final card, Temperance. Temperance calls for healing, for patience. This would be a good year to use both of those things. Patience and healing. You have to look, peek behind the curtain, take a look, see what they're saying, see what they're promising. Our cities are in ruin. The healthcare system is a joke. We're not living as long. We're not living as healthfully. Our money has all been taken away from us. People are poor. The top 5% hold 90% of the wealth in this country. We have been victims. This is the next 10 months or so where we have to heal. Take the patience to look, to understand, to see behind the words. I'm telling you, a year from now, your realization, your clarification, your determination are going to count. If you do nothing, I don't even want to think about the options. You've been stabbed in the back. You have to be honest with yourself so that you can heal. So with that in mind, let's wrap it up for today. Thank you so much for being here. I very, very much appreciate it. And please do not forget, ever, especially now more than ever, like and subscribe so we can keep growing, at least maintaining our existence as the Tao Manifested Tarot. Between the next time that you and I get together and do tarot together, one piece of advice, one ideal here: like and subscribe.